everyone, welcome back to Ginatopia. Well, do you know what this stack is? This is a stack of my very favorite fall palettes. So let me get started and tell you what they are. Now, everyone has different taste in eyeshadows, and what I may like, you may not, but I'm just telling you what I think are the favorite fall palettes that I have. And let's just get started. Now, if you like what I have on my eyes today, I have on the Natasha Denona Mini Sunset Palette. And if you like a tutorial on this look, let me know and I'll be glad to give you a tutorial. This also would be a great fall look, but this is not in my 10 favorite fall palettes, but I think this would be a beautiful fall look. So that's what I have on my eyes today. And I also recommend that you use your favorite eyeshadow primer to get the best wear out of your eyeshadows. And I don't care if it's a low-end eyeshadow or a high-end eyeshadow. An eyeshadow primer just gives you the best of any eyeshadow. So always use your favorite eyeshadow primer. I have two. I use the Avon eyeshadow primer, and I also love the Ulta Beauty eyeshadow primer. And these are in no particular order. I'm just going to go with my favorites that I have here in my lap. First, I think that the Rimmel Magnificent Eyes, the Spice Edition, is a great fall eyeshadow palette. Let me open this up. Now, this is a great dupe for the Urban Decay Heat palette, which I have decluttered, but this palette is a really pretty palette. It is less than $10, and I think this is a great fall eyeshadow palette with all these oranges and rust and shimmers. I think this is a great option at an economical price. So this is a good drugstore palette, and the shades in this are absolutely beautiful. So that is number one, and at a very economical price. Number two, this is one of my all-time favorite palettes. It is the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette. Not only is the packaging beautiful, but what is inside the package is more beautiful. Just check out these gorgeous colors. This gives a beautiful look, and here is the beautiful Miss Bells. You know, Miss Bella was laying over there on the bed like she was just having the best nap of her life, and she hears Mommy talking to the camera, so of course here she comes. So, if you've not already subscribed to Mommy's channel, be sure to hit the little subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time Mommy uploads a video so you can see me and Mommy. And be sure to like the video so you can see more of the bells. Yeah. I wish you could hear my baby purring. So let me get her some treats since she did her little commercial for me. Here, baby. Oh, not that many. I'll be cleaning up Pearl. So here you go, babe. There you go. So the Just Peachy Mattes is a really good option for a fall palette. I love it. It's got oranges, it's got browns, it's got a red shade. Beautiful palette. And if you don't want to spend the price of this palette, there is a good option for that. It is the W7 Life's a Peach palette. This is available right now at TJ Maxx for $5.99. I've done some color swatches. The colors match really good. Some of them take building up, but the colors do match and can be built up. So this is a really good option for $5.99 at TJ Maxx. But I love my Too Faced palette, so love that for fall. I've been trying to buy a bunch of the W7 palettes so I can do comparison videos. I had seen a bunch of them in the past, and I had a purple one and was not happy with that one, so I didn't buy any of the W7 palettes for a long time, and I really regret not getting them because I'm finding that they are really good palettes. The next palette that I have is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill I bought palette, Armed and Gorgeous. Now, I did not buy the whole lot collection because I just didn't like all of them, but this palette I really do like. I love this gorgeous green down here, the golds, the browns. I just think it's beautiful. I love the gold right here. I just think it's gorgeous. The only color in here I don't like is the white. But if you take the white out of the palette, it is a beautiful, beautiful fall palette, and I do recommend this one. It takes a little bit of working to blend the colors, but you can get a beautiful fall look out of this. And like I said, if you want a fall look tutorial out of any of these palettes, just let me know and I'll gladly do one. Now that I'm back from my eye surgery and can do some videos without being so ashamed to show my eye on my face. So, the next palette is the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat. Yes, I decluttered the big Urban Decay Heat palette because I just didn't feel like I needed it since I had this Urban Decay Petite Heat, because this one has everything that I want. It's all mattes, which I prefer an all matte palette just for me and my aging eyes, because you know they start getting all crepey. And I'm not really big into shimmers anymore, which I love shimmers, but I feel like with aging eyes, all mattes just look better on me. Even though I do love shimmers and love glitters, all mattes just look better on my aging eyes. But this palette is gorgeous. I get gorgeous looks out of it, and I highly recommend this palette. It's beautiful and I love it. So I think that is a beautiful fall palette. The next palette that I recommend, I just got in an Ipsy box, is the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions palette. And I've not got to play with it but one time, but I think the colors in this are gorgeous. This is a great fall palette for the price. So if you're looking for a really nice fall palette under $30, this right here is the ticket. And I really do like this, and glad I got that in my box. I really can't wait to play around with that palette. So, Warm Obsessions. The next palette that I want to recommend, which I've not played around with a whole lot, but this fall was the perfect time to play around with this, is the Violet Voss Pro HG, the Holy Grail palette. And when you look at this palette, it really does say fall, because you've got the browns, you've got burgundies, you've got the golds. I can just see this palette making some beautiful fall looks. This shade down here called Cranberry Splash is so pretty. I think this will be beautiful making some fall eye looks. So I'm really looking forward to playing with this palette in the fall. I think this color and this color and this color together is going to make a really beautiful fall eye. So I can't wait to play around with this in the fall. So I think that would make a beautiful fall palette. The next palette I know is not a really popular palette for some people, but for me, the Subculture palette is just the perfect fall palette. I love this palette, which is also not popular because a lot of people didn't like the Subculture palette when it came out, but I really wished I had bought it sooner than I did. As you can see, I have got a whole lot of use out of this palette, but I think the greens, the burgundies, the gold, the brown, and the peachy color over here are just beautiful for fall. The only colors I really don't like in here is the color up here in the corner, that white with the pink cast to it, and this shade down here. Those shades I'm really not crazy about. Every other color in this palette I absolutely love. I think it is perfect for fall. But if you don't want to spend the money on this, I know it's available at some TJ Maxx for like $25. But if you still don't want to spend $25 on this palette because you're not sure about it, also available at TJ Maxx is On the Rocks by W7 for $5.99. I color swatch this. Again, some of the colors do need a little building up, but the W7 palette is a nice palette that dupes the Subculture palette. Like I said, it does need some building up, but I'm anxious to do a video comparing these two. I know it's a little late in the game for comparing palettes, but that way if you're interested in buying the On the Rocks palette when you see it at TJ Maxx, you'll know a little bit more about it. But for $5.99, you can kind of play around with it and see if you like it or not. But I highly recommend the Subculture palette if you like those colors. And that burgundy in this palette with that gold is an absolutely gorgeous eye. I love that palette. I recently purchased the Too Faced Gingerbread palette. This was first released last year. I wasn't going to get it. Then I decided I will go ahead and get it. I've not played around with it but the colors in it are beautiful, so I thought, well, this would be beautiful for the fall. So I'm looking forward to playing around with this. That plum down there is gorgeous. I think plum is a beautiful fall shade. I just think this would be really pretty to play around with this fall. So I think the gingerbread spice, I know they have another one out, so they will be complimentary palettes. So either one of those would be great for the fall. Also, I think the California Love palette that my friend sent me from California, Lisa Jacks, I think this would be a beautiful fall palette if you love ColourPop eyeshadows. These are gorgeous. Just beautiful, beautiful fall colors. The browns, the oranges, the shimmers and the glitters in there would be beautiful, beautiful for fall. So that is a beautiful fall palette. And I also think the Emily Edits The Wants by Revolution would be perfect for fall, because this has just about every color you would want to play around with for fall. You have greens, you have oranges and browns and plums and purples. It has all kinds of colors. Like, it would have every color that you would see in the South in your trees. So you know, when the leaves are starting to change, well, first you have your greens, and when the leaves started to change, you have your orange and your reds and, you know, your browns, and you just have all these beautiful colors that your leaves start changing into. So this palette right here will be beautiful for fall. So I think that would be a really good palette, and it's only $20, so you're getting a palette that has, excuse me, it has every color that you would want. And if you don't like lots and lots and lots of colors, I think another one that would be really good, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze again. Maybe not. Excuse me, I apologize. Is the Urban Decay Reloaded palette. Now, it's not got lots of bright bold colors like most that you would think for fall, but not everybody wants bright oranges and reds all over their eyes for fall. Some people like a very, very muted look. This will give you a beautiful fall look, but you have a little touch of peachy orange right here. So you have your neutrals, but you do have a pop of color right here. So if you're the type of person who likes a very, very muted eye, you can still have your pop of color. So this will give you a fall look with your pop of color. You can still have your browns, and there's a pop of color. So this can give you a fall look too. So I thought I would show you something that would just be very soft if you're not into the bright, bright, bright looks, that this would give you the fall look with just a touch. So that is what I consider my fall looks. Plus, like I said, I have the Natasha Denona Mini Sunset palette on, which I think is a beautiful fall look. So those are my eyeshadow palettes that I recommend for fall. Like I said, for a very soft fall look, it's the Naked Reloaded palette. For something that has every color in it would be the Emily Edit The Wants palette. For something that is just kind of really, really pretty and bright would be the California Love palette. For something that has just beautiful burgundies and greens and yellows with a pop of orange in it would be your Subculture palette. And if you didn't want to buy that, or if you can't find that, the W7 on the Rocks is available right now at TJ Maxx. The Too Faced Gingerbread palette is a great option for fall. The Violet Voss Holy Grail palette is a great option for fall. Also, the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection by Morphe. The Armed and Gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful shade ranges in this, from golds and browns and orange and greens, beautiful colors. And that, the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions palette, gorgeous. I can't wait to get my hands on that. A great palette for under $30. Nice, compact, great for traveling. The Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes, one of my all-time favorite palettes. Just an all-around great palette, great formula, love that. If you can't get your hands on that, try the Life's a Peach by W7. This is right now available at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. That's a nice dupe palette for that. Needs a little building up, but still a pretty good palette for $5.99. The Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat Palette. I love this palette. Great for travel. Perfect size. All mattes. It's got 6 shades in it. Just a perfect little travel palette, and you can get some really great looks out of that. And for a drugstore palette, I highly recommend the Rimmel Magna Eyes Spice Edition. Just a great, it's a good dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Heat Palette. And like I said, it's under $10, a great dupe for that palette and a great drugstore palette. So those are my 10 palettes that I'm recommending for fall. And list down below what you recommend for fall, and I want to check it out and see what that you recommend. And remember, if you've not subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe. Or hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, the little bell, and just share the love, not the hate. There's so much hatred in this world, and we don't want to spread that around. Let me know what you like, that you agree with me on, and if there's something, like I said, that I've not mentioned, be sure to mention it down below. And I think these are good palettes. There are some other palettes that I would have liked to have mentioned, but these will be the ones that I'll be reaching for the most for this fall. And like I said, if you don't like bright, bold eyes, this one right here is a really good option for just a neutral eye with just a little pop of color. And there's my baby there. She's coming in here. She's been on the bed with me today because I'm having to rest because this eye was really bothering me. So her mommy in here, so she's coming in here to be with me in here today. And, you know, when you have pets and you love them so much, they just make you smile and warms your heart when they follow you from room to room. Anyway, share the love, not the hate. And that's my 10. So let me get up and turn off the camera.